so that we can do the things that we love with the people we love. Because we don't want to miss out.
A message from the New York State Department of Health.
An executive director sought New York, to manage national litigation firm including strategic plan, expansion, practice development, HR, finance, technology, marketing, supervised staff, requires an MBA or related and 7 years in executive law firm management with staff, finance, business development, HR, and Iridium. 5% travel, a local remote hybrid work option is available. Salary is $224,349 to $319,030 per year. Mail resumes to HR manager, Anderson Kill, PC, 1251 Avenue of the Americas, New York, 10020.
Talk Radio 77 WABC. It's the left versus the right. In the right corner, Dominic Carter. In the left corner, it's Anthony Weiner. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. Round 4.
So welcome to Left versus Right. I'm Anthony Weiner on the left, and on the right, Dominic Carter. Dominic, you know, they have an award in the NBA called the Sixth Man Trophy. It's the person that is most reliable, the first guy off the bench whenever they need him. You have been on, you were subbing for Bo Snerdley this week. You were subbing for Greg Kelly this week. You're doing your own very fine show from 12 to 1. I am impressed you still have the stamina.
Well, thank you.
To do another show.
Thank you, but not sixth man, starting point guard.
All right, that's true. That's true. You have your own show. You can also be reached at Dominic TV. I can be reached on WienerWABC@gmail.com. I guess this is the fourth time we're going at it.
Yes,
is that right?
And I'm glad we're starting off positive. I really am.
Why wouldn't we?
Because I just listened to you for the last 12 minutes, and no offense, and you make me want to throw up for what you just said in terms of your defense of Charles Schumer. You cannot defend what Senator Schumer did with Israel.
We haven't even gotten to...
we haven't even
started. Let's go. I am ready.
Let me just get this off my chest.
All right, go ahead.
I just listened to you, Mr. Weiner. It's what, 70 degrees outside. It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
You know, and I got my St. Patrick's Day hat here.
Yep.
You know, and I just listened to you for the last 10 minutes. And with all due respect, my friend, and I'm like, what planet is Weiner on?
So what did I get wrong? Go ahead, break it down.
Your entire premise was wrong. You basically said U.S. dollars, so Schumer has a right to interfere in this. No, he doesn't. He's doing this for one reason. I know you didn't set up your topics yet.
This I was going to say, if you wanted to continue. I was just talking about it. Go ahead.
Okay. So Schumer is doing this for one reason and one reason only. All of this Netanyahu has to go and calling for new elections. It's called trouble on the left. You know it. I know it. The entire country knows it. He's trying to help Biden get reelected. And I'm listening to you defend this nonsense.
Well, first of all, Biden hasn't said that he agrees with what Chuck Schumer said.
Come on
But
now.
let me ask you this. Putting aside, you want to do the politics of it, let's start with the substance of it. Do you think substantively is wrong? I mean, a two-state solution seems like a pretty obvious basic thing that everyone should want. It's in Israel's best interest. It's in the U.S. best interest. So, I mean, I don't understand why you can't take him at face value. If anyone has earned the right to be taken on face value, it is the most hawkish guy in Congress. Chuck Schumer's always been that.
Well, he has, but having been to Israel several times, as I'm sure you have when you were a member of Congress, Israel is an independent country separate from the U.S. No matter how much the U.S. may be allies with Israel, they have a right to defend themselves. And we've heard this two-state solution for years, right?
Right.
And let's not forget October 7th. That's what I'm stuck on.
Well, that's not... Look, Chuck Schumer devoted half his speech to saying how we can't forget October 7th, Hamas has to go, et cetera, et cetera.
What was the headline?
Well, the headline was the most interesting part of it because, listen, you and I both know you're a student of the Middle East just like I am. You know if elections were held today, Bibi would lose. He's unpopular. Now, the policies on the war are popular.
He was written off before.
Well, in this case, I mean, he's in the 20s right now.
Right, but he was written off before.
I get that.
We were told before the corruption investigations. There's no way he can make it.
I don't think
he came back as prime minister.
It isn't a bold statement to say that he would probably lose if the election were.
But it's not even about Mr. Netanyahu, the prime minister.
I agree.
It's about Israel. And so I just listened to you, Mr. Weiner, for the last 10 minutes, and I'm like, what planet is he on?
Well, because I believe that ultimately it's in Israel's best interest to have a two-state solution. By and large, that's what the Israelis believe as well. The only question becomes, how do you get there? And I know it's not easy.
Why now? Why right now?
Why? No, this has been the obvious solution since 1948 when the partition plan was set up as a two-state solution.
Why right now? You know why right now.
You mean why Chuck's speech right now?
The handwriting's on the wall.
No.
That Biden has a problem in Michigan.
No, the problem. How does Chuck Schumer's speech help Biden in Michigan? But hold on a second.
Come on.
You asked a question.
He's point man for Biden. That's what's going on.
You ask a question. I assume that meant you want an answer. The reason right now is that Bibi said we're going to go into Rafah. 1.2 million people are in Rafah. I don't even. Listen. I'm a hawkish as hawks get on this stuff. I don't understand how you go into Rafah without there being an absolute carnage. And so I think that's why he's saying now is the time to step up and say, whoa, let's try to figure out a way. And by the way, all he's called for, Chuck Schumer, is a short-term ceasefire. He even specifically said, I don't believe there should be a long-term ceasefire, only a short-term one.
He called Netanyahu, I'm looking at this directly, an obstacle to peace.
Yes, one of the four obstacles to peace.
And October 7th. As we speak, women hostages are being raped right now.
Well,
that's the bottom line.
Well, you only can get them out with a ceasefire. You got to get a ceasefire, though. Arguably, going into Rafah makes them more in harm.
Has a right to make sure that wherever Hamas is hiding, in a school, under a hospital, wherever it may be, in a hospital, in a church, in a center, wherever it may be, Israel has a right.
No one disagrees with that. That's a straw man. Dominic, that's a straw man.
Off the map.
Right, but can I ask you a question? You say that you're concerned about the hostages, as am I. You're not going to get.
You didn't mention them once until
you
I brought them up.
are not going to get. I concede that. You are not going to get the hostages back unless there's a ceasefire. We haven't had any hostages back unless there's a ceasefire. So that's what Israel gets. And that's why Chuck Schumer said, I don't believe in a long-term ceasefire, just a ceasefire to get the hostages back.
Schumer is playing politics. He's the point man.
Okay.
He's the point man for President Biden. You know it.
That's
I know
his
it.
motivation.
Everybody listening to this show right now knows that
anyone
he's playing
who knows
politics.
Anyone who knows Chuck Schumer's history on this knows his motivation is his love for Israel.
If Biden didn't have a problem on the left in terms of the Arab American community in America, none of this would have taken place.
Chuck Schumer doesn't play politics. That's not true.
Chuck Schumer doesn't play politics.
Chuck Schumer didn't support the Iran nuclear deal as the minority leader.
Play politics.
Chuck Schumer didn't support the Iran nuclear deal, and Obama was president. He was the minority leader. Chuck Schumer believes in Israel's right to exist and believes in what's best for Israel. I have never met an elected official in New York who cared more about Israel's survival and thriving than Chuck Schumer.
Well, he surely didn't sound like it with this speech.
Well, I don't think you read the speech, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't think
if you just read that. If you just read that headline, you did not hear the whole speech.
I listened to you for the last 10 to 15
I'm surprised
minutes
you didn't
of your
listen
show.
You should have listened to the whole 2 hours. It's good stuff.
I did catch most of it. I've been here for most of it, and you just gave this rose-colored. I know you and Schumer. I know,
you misunderstood.
I didn't misunderstand anything.
You misunderstood.
You're playing politics as you often do. And please don't bring up crime this week. Right. Don't do it.
All right. For those of you who have the over-under on how often Dominic changes the subject, that's 1. I think the over-under is 14. All right, let's go to the second issue.
I didn't just deal with Schumer and Israel.
Let's go to the second issue.
Wait, for the first 13 minutes, we dealt with Schumer and Israel. So what am I ducking?
You're not ducking. You're changing the subject.
No, I know. I'm not changing the subject.
You said something about crime. Let's go to the second issue.
Okay, what's
the second issue today is about, it's one you're going to love because it's going to give you a chance to say boo as many times as you want. Fannie Willis, the prosecutor in Fulton County, she was spanked rather hard by the judge in the case, saying, "You know what? What
was that again?
Let me just do the setup.
I just want to hear that again. She was what now?
She was. You just like the sound of this?
Because last week you were defending her. Last week you were defending her.
I have said consistently that this is a mess. It's a soap opera.
No. Your exact words were, "I don't care about her personal life, what she's doing." Yeah, so let's tell the full story.
You said I was defending her.
Don't engage in revisionist history. Tell the full story.
Well, you just said I was defending her. I never defended her. I said I think this is a joke.
You said that you did right. Oh, you said it was. Go ahead, finish.
It's a joke. I said it's a soap opera. I said it's a distraction. I said it's the worst thing that can happen for this case.
And what else did you say? You said it was not relevant to the prosecution of Trump.
Which is what the judge said. So
no, that's not what the judge said.
The judge said there was a bad appearance, which is what I said. It looks ridiculous. I said those exact words last week.
No, your exact words were you had no interest in her personal life. Those were your exact words.
Well, neither do you. You don't care about her personal life, do you?
No, I don't. She shouldn't be district attorney. She's not qualified.
Fine. Well, don't vote for her.
Did you see her on the witness stand?
Fine. Don't vote for her.
Did you see?
I did not watch
that
soap opera.
embarrassment? Of course you didn't.
It was a soap opera.
Because as a Democrat, you don't want to deal with the fact that she's an absolute embarrassment.
I think the whole thing is a soap opera. It's terrible, but it has nothing to do with the bottom of the case.
It's falling apart.
In what way? What part of it is falling apart? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so let's talk about the case. One,
some of the counts were dropped. You want to explain that or should I?
Okay, well, one, the big count that was dropped is the one that all of you Democrats, screaming bloody murder, Trump on the phone call with the Secretary of State, find these votes, it's corruption, and the judge said dismissed.
So you trust the judge?
I trust him as much as I trust.
So long as he gives you a ruling you like.
Can I finish? I trust him as much.
That was a big pause. I waited for you to finish.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
I trust him as much as I trust any judge, in particular a judge that's up for re-election, that's campaigning for his job right now, in which he's facing two opponents on the left.
Okay,
and so he's running. He's running in a predominantly area people of color, and so he's got to play to the left. That's the only reason why she still has this case.
Got it. Okay, so she said the judge said, Fannie, it's either you or this guy that you hired. I think it's a boo.
Not this guy.
The boo. I'm setting you up to say boo.
The secret lover, undercover.
Don't stop saying boo now.
No,
sock it in. It's her boo.
It was her boo. I mean,
Okay, so the boo is gone, and the case remains. Did anything about the case? Hold on. Did anything about the case, underlying case? Did anything change this week? Some counts were dropped, but you still have the fundamental thing that they tried to change the results of Georgia. Now, we're going to go to a jury and a trial. Is there any other way to decide what happened?
That's what you say.
No, that's what the allegation is.
That's what you say.
That's what the allegation is. It's going to go to a jury now. It's up to a jury now, right?
No, it's not up to a jury right now. If I listen to your argument, folks like you on the left, Trump will be convicted in possibly 4 cases before the election. I maintained from day one that there was a strong possibility that he would not be tried before Election Day.
It looks like you were right.
In any single case.
So in other words, we aren't going to know when we vote whether he's a criminal or not.
Well, we already know the answer to that.
No, juries decide. Dominic doesn't get to decide. Juries get to decide.
We already know the answer to that. It is ridiculous that
some of us believe in the Constitution.
Trump is facing these charges. These charges are trumped up. They're garbage. And they're all election year ploys.
Says who?
Where
says Dominic.
Well, no.
We have juries for this. Juries are smarter than you and me.
Yeah, like the juries in New York for Trump. They were fair, right?
Okay, so don't do if you don't want a jury in New York, don't do a crime.
Those juries were fair, right?
Don't do a crime in New York.
And the juries for the federal
case. Well, you know better than the people in that case what happened to E.G. Carroll, I guess.
And the juries for the federal case will be where else? In D.C., right? You might as well put them in New York. All Democratic.
So Republicans should never get tried in D.C.?
Or how about a fair?
Well, I want to know what your position is.
Ground?
That's not the way we do crimes of your people.
No.
We do crimes where they happen in America. Have for hundreds of years.
No. Crimes they're steered into certain areas sometimes when it's high-profile defendants. Don't look at me like that.
Well, I didn't say.
Remember, we're on camera right now.
Why is one in Florida then?
Okay, well, we'll
see.
You
can't have it both ways.
Okay, but there aren't the federal cases. One of them is not in D.C.
One of them is in D.C. It had happened in D.C.
Right.
The guy was sitting literally in the White House doing crimes.
So you explain this to me. Okay. Why?
Finally, you're turning to someone who can explain things to you.
Okay, good. Why are these cases being pushed back? If everything is on the up and up, why?
Because Donald Trump doesn't want to face the music.
No,
he wants the delay. Donald Trump doesn't want the delay.
You want the delay. In New York. Didn't the prosecutors ask for the delay?
Well, we have Bragg wants to wait at issue 7. You want to do it now? Because we don't. Let's
we don't have to do it now.
Yeah, we can talk about the bracket. He's had delays because he wants delays because he doesn't want the facts coming out before he stands for election. I believe. I believe in the Sixth Amendment.
We were okay until I listened to the last 10 minutes of your show, with you sitting up here
praising
Schumer.
I don't want to go back.
Schumer,
let's not go back.
Some saint, and Schumer didn't do anything
That's,
wrong.
by the way, change the subject. Meter is now at 2.
Okay, no. So let's stick to your.
I need
issue.
a bell. I need to change the button.
What issue do you want to stick to?
You were talking about
Fonnie Willis?
You were talking. We were having a good conversation about where trials should be held,
right?
And I believe that that you can find juries anywhere in the country because if you believe only the Democrats should only stand trial. Let me just finish.
Okay.
Do you believe
get my hat?
Do you believe the Democrats should only stand trial in Democratic districts and Republican only in Republican districts?
No.
So if I commit a crime, I should do it in a Republican district?
No. What I am saying to you is that for a trial to be held against Trump in New York City, you might as well not even have the trial.
Why?
Because the jury is going to convict him. And if
why do you say that?
And if the jury's not going to convict him...
He got 30% of the vote. He'll get 30% of the jury.
Let me just finish.
Yeah, sure.
The judge is going to make sure that he steers the case so much against Trump that he will be convicted.
So if you're a Republican and you're a criminal, you can never get a fair trial in New York?
These days, correct.
Okay, in that case,
these days, correct.
In that case, how do we decide if someone's guilty or not? We let Dominic decide?
No, you don't bring trumped up charges.
You don't bring any charges. Well, the only one that can know. I'm asking you, how do we decide if it's trumped up?
Okay.
Who gets to decide?
Okay, no. Can you just please answer my question?
Wait a minute, I just did a question. I just did a question.
Okay, what's your question? What's your question again?
If you are trying to figure out what is trumped up and what's not, who gets to decide? A jury or Dominic? Who gets to decide?
The American people.
That's right. That's called the jury. And we'll be right back after the break.
To celebrate the new Quick Draw Progressive from the New Jersey Lottery, give it up for the rolling jackpot.
The jackpot keeps rolling, rolling, jackpot rolling. Higher and higher it's growing, alright.
Quick Draw is now Quick Draw Progressive with a free shot at winning a rolling jackpot with every play.
Quick Draw, jackpot, jackpot, Quick Draw, play today, alright.
Play Quick Draw Progressive today.
Anything can happen in Jersey.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the 77 WABC Big Basketball Bracket Challenge. Registration is now open. Go to WABCRadio.com/bracket. Sign up now. It's free to enter. Make up to 5 brackets for your chance to win. Play against Sid and Friends in the Morning, Greg Kelly, Rudy Giuliani, and the rest of the 77 WABC squad. Grand prize is $500. Sponsored by Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com or paviliontankless.com. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Well, he is Greek American. He's a New Yorker.
It's a great American success story.
He's involved in a number of businesses.
He's a great role model.
He's got plenty of ideas on how to bring change.
Tomorrow at 8 a.m., it's the Cats Roundtable with John Katzimatidis.
Good morning, America. This is the Cats Roundtable. John Katzimatidis here.
Giving you both sides of the story with New York sensibility. Tomorrow at 8 a.m., it's the Cats Roundtable with John Katzimatidis on Talk Radio 77 WABC. It's the left versus the right. It's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. Round 4. 77 WABC.
So welcome back to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on the left, Dominic Carter on your right. This is a fourth edition of this. If you like what you hear, you can download any of it as a podcast. The debates, you can go back and get them as a podcast too to see if we're getting any better at this. Dominic, what kind of feedback are you getting from your listeners about these? Do people seem to like these debates?
Yes.
But they generally think that I'm prevailing in these things, or they think that you are?
Impossible. What I do want to say, the first song that was played, Cheryl Lynn, To Be Real. To Be Real. That means Democratic talking points out the window. That means we keep it real. we talk as regular people here and not the spin. So what's the next topic?
All right, so let's go to some issues here that are local, but also they seem to reverberate around the country, and it's the issue of crime and mental health and all these other things. Crazy situation this week. I think it was Thursday. The days are all blending into together. A guy gets on the train, starts harassing another guy, calling him names, calling him a migrant, whatever, gets in his face. It turns into fisticuffs.
Or whatever. Okay.
I don't have the exact script.
Right, no. I just find it interesting. You gently get the migrant thing in there, and then you keep moving and say, or whatever. But go ahead.
I have it here. The guy wasn't a migrant.
He wasn't a migrant. But
No.
Democrats don't want to focus on the fact that because of your policies of welcoming all these migrants,
So
that hell is breaking
You get
loose.
everyone freaked out about migrants. Some guy goes in, starts yelling about migrants. It turns into a shooting, and you want to accept no responsibility for turning up the heat on this migrant issue when it's irresponsible to do so. These were not migrants.
So I want you to finish the setup.
Thank you.
But we have to leave the bias out. You can't even get the setup correct without the Democratic bias.
No, I said
you said migrant or whatever. Real quick, because you don't want to focus on that part.
I'm trying to set up.
You're trying to do a Mayor Eric Adams. Oh, it's mental illness with this guy. It's mental illness. It's not the migrant situation.
So
it's not the frustration of taxpayers
Dominic,
that all our money is going for migrants because you and your buddy Eric Adams and President Biden. Oh, now you're doing one of my numbers.
No,
you said
I write these careful setups for these things, and then you interrupt me 3 words in.
No,
forget about it.
No, you know why? You know why? You know why he just threw the paper across the room.
All right.
You do realize this is going to be on video online.
By the way,
very
speaking about video,
yes,
I resent the fact that you're so well dressed and I'm wearing a t-shirt. I resent that fact because you're trying to get a higher ground on me by convincing audience. By the way, no one watches this on YouTube anyway. It's all radio listeners. But let me just finish the setup of this story.
Okay, go
ahead. So the story, it's violence on the platforms. Violence on a train, on an A train. It's like all of our nightmare situations. But there's also, let's point it out just so everyone knows, there were cops nearby. As soon as the doors opened, 4 cops rushed in. The person who was instigating this turned out to be the victim. The person that shot him is not going to be charged. That's the setup. Is there anything here beyond just another back-page New York Post story you get to yell about? Is there anything we can learn from this case? Go ahead.
You're not serious.
I am serious. To me, it is a crazy case. It's a nightmare case, but it's 8 million people in the naked city. Crazy stuff happens.
That's what you say?
This guy,
God.
guy was clearly mentally out of it.
Oh, my God.
I saw the video. This guy was...
Mr. Weiner.
Yes.
Do you realize, as we are speaking right now, an animal in Trenton, New Jersey is locked up in a house with the SWAT team outside. He killed 3 people this morning and carjacked the vehicle. Do you realize that this morning alone, 2 people, thank God they're okay, have been shot in Tompkins Square Park?
Yeah. And did that really happen? That's right in my neighborhood.
Yes, it did happen.
So you're telling me, hold on, I could stop the press. If someone called the Associated Press, there's crime in New York City. Of course, you're going to find crazy stories in New York City, but tell me about this case. What about a Democratic policy made this case more likely to happen? I'm curious to hear this.
Well, because you Democrats with the first of all,
go ahead.
First of all, Mr. Weiner, we've got to stop all of this kumbaya.
No. Tell me how this case comes back to Democrats.
Letting the mentally ill out. You're the
one.
Wait.
Wait a minute. Republicans care about mental health. Is that why they cut the budget 45%?
Okay.
Really? You care about mental health?
Okay.
Son, I haven't heard that once on the air here at 77. It's all about lock them up, lock them up, lock them up. No one ever says take care of the mentally ill. But you believe that? I think we totally should. You and I can agree. We can have a big kumbaya hug. Let's devote more money to the mentally ill. However, your guys wanted to cut it 40%.
Okay. So now let's get back to what we're really dealing with, right?
Which is what mental health, which is what this guy had problems with.
So are you telling me, now I haven't even mentioned Laken Riley. Say her name, Mr. Weiner. Laken Riley.
Oh, you don't want me to play the tape of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump both saying the name wrong. I got the tape. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Let
People
me finish
say
here.
that name wrong. But get back to this case. Tell me how it comes back to Democrats.
Come back to it. And I haven't even mentioned Democratic policies, St. Louis, Missouri.
By the way, you can't say I haven't mentioned and then mention it. That's mentioning it.
Can I just finish?
Yes, sir.
The case in St. Louis where you have that super predator attacking that other girl who's fighting. You said what?
If the thing wasn't on videotape, you wouldn't give a rat's butt about it.
Mr. Weiner, how do you know what I would care about?
Because you would not know about it.
Mr. Weiner,
because there's fights in St. Louis every day of the week you don't care about.
These are things that I talk about every single night.
Believe me, you have a great show talking about them.
Thank you,
You
my
take
brother.
these
Thank
crazy back page stories and you make them into something that they're not.
Okay.
Look,
so
if you
you're
want,
acting like what happened on the train is just another instance
you
in New York
are
City.
the one who said it's a democratic policy.
It is.
Give me a policy.
Well, a lack of police.
The police police were there in 15 seconds.
The police station is right above. So we would expect them to be there.
Okay,
you asked me about the democratic
who put the police
policies.
station there?
You asked
the Democrats.
You asked me about the democratic policies.
And get to one. Get to one. I'm waiting.
Okay.
The clock's ticking.
Okay, the clock is ticking. So the legislature, right? That this attitude of the criminal is right, the criminals have all the power, the guns on the street. I mean, we can go on.
Guns on the street? No, Democrats want guns off the street.
Soft on crime. But wait,
But this is not a crime case. It's a wackadoo guy who was looking for trouble and who was carrying a gun. I mean, look, the point I'm trying to make, Dominic, is you can't take everything bad that happens in the city and try to make it a democratic policy. Mental health, we agree upon.
No. Let's go back to what this mentally ill man did, right? Okay. What did he say? How did this
I got to pick up my paper. I threw it down already. What he said. You interrupted me.
How did this incident start? It started, Mr. Weiner.
Go ahead.
Because he said you like beating up cops. He thought he was a migrant.
He did. He probably was listening to you all day rail about migrants. Here's what he said. He said, "I'll beat you up. F you, F the economy, F your race. I love my blacks," he's heard shouting. Do something about it. Look.
No, and what was the next line? You're leaving the next line
No, I'm
out.
reading from the newspaper.
Okay.
So
you're leaving...
Two MTA employees... Hold on, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can.
What did his girlfriend say? I'll tell you. I don't need a piece of paper in front of me.
I don't...
She said, she laughed and said, he thinks you're a migrant. He thinks you're an immigrant. So you mentioned democratic policies, right? So why is there a frustration of people of color and other...
Why are people afraid of migrants? Because of people like you.
Excuse me.
Because of your demagogues on the right.
Excuse me. In Chicago, in New York, why are people upset? Could it be...
You're making them upset.
Okay. Could it be that you and your... like you just gave this defense of Schumer, which is...
Ding, ding. That's 3. Changing of the subject.
Okay.
Remember, the over-under is 14. If you take 14 or more, you win.
Look at the television screen. What does it say right now? You
I don't watch TV. I'm a radio guy.
Right. It says breaking news. Police in standoff with suspect
Fox News focusing on crime. The New York Post focusing on crime. Dominic Carter focusing on crime.
The guy killed
Anthony
3
Weiner
people.
focuses on facts.
Today he killed 3. So what is it going to take for Democrats to take crime seriously? That's a great question.
Really?
What is it going to take?
Crime was never low in the city than it was under de Blasio.
Oh, my God. So wait a minute.
Am I right or am I right?
Let's stop. Please don't bring up de Blasio.
I'm not a big de Blasio guy myself, but facts are facts.
Let's leave de Blasio alone. He was the worst thing that ever could have happened to New York.
Crime was lowest in New York City under him.
Let's leave de Blasio alone, please.
You mean change the subject?
No. I'm not changing the subject.
Right,
what I'm saying is, how dare you sit up there and act like what happened on that A train was just another day in New York?
No, I'm saying that you can't. Some people like you want to bring everything back to a policy thing. There are some sick people in this city who are going to do things. We are never going to be in a crime-free city. I'm sorry. If you are going to follow the front page of the New York Post every day of your life, or the idiots on Fox News, you are going to believe that everything comes back to some...
The Times covered it big. The Daily News covered it big.
Of course, it's a big story, but it doesn't. But you have yet to point to a Democratic policy that contributed to it. You've yet to. If anything, Democratic policies of providing more help and aid to the mentally ill. That's what maybe would have kept this guy locked up somewhere if we had some place to put him. But a 40% cut by the Republicans to mental health services in our city and in our country.
So what about your friends that are the district attorneys that are acting like they're social workers? What about that?
Look, district attorneys have to decide who to charge, who not to charge, and they also need prisons to put them in. Maybe this guy should have been in prison. I don't know. But this particular instance, it was a guy who was clearly unhinged going after a guy who was not.
That's what Mayor Adams...
I'm going to be honest.
Mayor Adams wants people to think. Was more about his frustration. He was a little unbalanced, but that was more about his frustration with migrants.
That guy's frustration with Mike. I don't care what that guy's frustration. That guy's a fucking beast.
Okay.
Excuse me. Forgive me. Grab that.
Right.
I don't care about that guy's frustration.
Right.
I mean, because he was spun up about something doesn't make it right or wrong. What it makes is that guy should be locked up somewhere. No doubt about it. But nothing to. The cops were there within a moment.
What about the migrants that are here?
Sorry about that.
What about that?
This was not a migrant case,
Mr. Weiner. All
right. When we come back,
cited migrants.
Hold on. I have to go pay a fine for cussing. But we are going to have...
Is that because you like me?
He cited migrants, but the guy he was attacking was not a migrant. He was just spun up about it. What responsibility do you bear for making everything about migrants? People who are born in this country have a higher rate of crime than people not. That's a fact.
Every week you sit up here and you tell me this.
Facts.
You tell me, I
tell you facts.
No. You give
the only person defending this guy's action is you, saying that he had a right to do it because he's upset about.
Give me democratic spin on everything.
Was this crazy guy on the train? Did he have any right to do it?
Just like you did with Schumer.
Does the guy on the crazy train? Did he have any right to do what he did?
Of course not.
Right. Whether he thought it was a migrant or not is not an excuse. All right, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
I have to go put $1 in the fine jar. I hope you guys caught it. This is the problem. The Brooklyn comes out of me. Dominic Carter on the right, Anthony Weiner on the left. We're loving every minute of it. We'll see you when we get back.
It's not something that we're used to. No other way to say I need you every day. And now I'm gonna change my ways.
Blackstone Incorporated in New York, seeks an associate, server and application engineering to create next generation of innovative software solutions for Blackstone and financial community at large, thinking outside the box to push forward in inventive and scalable solutions. A minimum of a bachelor's degree or foreign equivalent in computer science, information management, software engineering or related, plus 3 years of experience in the job offered or related occupations required. Interested candidates should send resume via email to hr-jobinquiries@blackstone.com. Reference job code 31143. The salary is $116,000 to $160,000 per year. Blackstone Incorporated in New York, seeks an associate. Interested candidates should send resume via email to hr-jobinquiries@blackstone.com. Reference job code 31143. The salary is $116,000 to $160,000 per year.
Although you may know Stephen's Green as the largest Georgian park in the heart of Dublin City, now you can get a little piece of Ireland in the heart of Tuckahoe, across from the Crestwood train station. No one beats their Irish favorites, corned beef and cabbage, Irish stew, and homemade breads. And how can we forget the best Guinness in town? Together with a great atmosphere, you'll have a great St. Patrick's weekend at Stephen's Green. Call 914-337-1027. 914-337-1027.
Paid for by jackpot.com. You must be 18 or older to order a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Residents of New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hello?
This is your fortune. Listen, the Mega Millions jackpot is over $700 million. Download the free jackpot.com lottery app and order your official state lottery tickets right from your phone.
I can do that.
You can.
Your fortune is calling. Download the free jackpot.com lottery app and order lottery tickets on your phone. Plus, get a free lottery ticket with your first order. Go to the App Store and search for the jackpot.com lottery app.
Talk Radio 77 WABC. It's the left versus the right. In the right corner, Dominic Carter. In the left corner, it's Anthony Weiner. The melee in the metropolis. Round 4. 77 WABC.
And welcome back to Left versus Right. Anthony Weiner on the left, Dominic Carter on the right. Michael Jackson with Smooth Criminal. We'll be here till 5 o'clock. And if you miss any of it, you can get it as a podcast. And if you want to participate in the WABC Big Bracket Challenge, Dominic and I will both be in it. WABCRadio.com/bracket. Sign up now, win $500. Play against me, Dominic, Greg Kelly, Rudy Giuliani, and the rest of the squad here. And let's get back to some of the issues here on Left versus Right. We were talking a little about immigration. You know, you like to talk about it. I actually like to talk about it. It's talked about in the first hour of my show. You talk about it a lot from 12 to 1, starting out every day at Dominic TV. So we got a little bit of a break that you and I both kind of have been advocating for. New York City, as our listeners know and you know, is the only city in the entire country that has a right to housing. It's something called the Callahan Decree. It's been on the books since the 1980s. And for years, people have been trying to get changes to it. Finally, there was an agreement. You have to get an agreement of all the parties in order to change it. So there's going to be some minor changes. We texted about this, and you thought it was a bigger change than I think it is. It still doesn't affect any children, doesn't affect any families, but single adults now after 30 days can reapply to have another 30 days in some extreme circumstances, and then so 60 days. So there are going to be limits on how much people will have a right to housing, but they still, from wherever they're coming in the world, can still come to the United States, come to New York and have a right to housing. But do you think it's a step in the right direction?
Anything, Mr. Weiner, that's going to start to put caps on this out-of-control migrant situation that is the absolute fault of your party, the President of the United States, that's welcoming them all here, right? But it's an election year, so now we hear the double talk. So anything that's going to tighten, and see, that was another setup that was biased that you just did. Right. And it's biased because a right to shelter, you said it's guaranteed. The mayor says it's guaranteed. There are some like me that believe the city could fight this in court.
That's what this is a result of.
To a degree. The city could strongly fight in court. It is, after all. This is the settlement. It is, after all, the mayor could have decided to shut. He didn't have to put down the welcome mat to welcome the migrants here.
Right.
I know they have a right to housing. You mentioned Michael Jackson. I know he's doing the moonwalk now, trying to get away from the migrant situation. Notice he doesn't even show up to news conferences.
Michael Jackson has not been feeling well.
Excuse me, and I must go back. I am not going to permit you to get away with the shooting in Brooklyn on that train.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, that's fine. Changing of the subject.
No. I am not, Mr. Weiner, going to let you get.
We still have some time to change it again.
I'm not going to let you get away with. That's just another day and another crime incident. People were screaming.
Terrible.
Where's the end? Oh, it's terrible. That's what you say week after week.
Terrible.
That's what you say week after week.
What can I tell you? It's terrible.
Yeah, it's your buddies. It's your buddies.
Wait a minute. I am not buddies with that guy who got on that train and did that. That guy should be thrown into prison and rocked.
I really believe that Governor Hochul wants to do the right thing. But you've got your buddies, Carl Hasty.
We're talking about right to shelter
here. You've got Carl Hasty, Andrea Stewart Cousin, and you've got the Looney Tunes at the city council that all need to go, and they think like you.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
They think like you. This is ridiculous.
I wish if they thought like me, we'd have a much better country. But no, they don't think like me. They don't think like me. But let's try to keep focused.
I am focusing. You're
focusing on me and Andrea Stewart Cousins. What did I do?
Because you portrayed, first of all, you defended Schumer. Second of all,
ding, 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 that's six subject changes. We're almost at our limit.
What happened on that train is an average situation in New York.
Rather than restate what I said, let me try again.
Okay, please.
That we have this conversation, left policies versus right policies, and you have this way of taking things off the front page and saying, okay, it's because of the left policies. And I asked again and again today, well, what left policy do you think led to this? What I was saying is that, yes, if you believe that we should have no crime, there's no disagreement. I agree, we should have no crime. I want there to be zero crime. Zero crime. However, we live in a world where we have 8 million people bouncing off each other like molecules in microwaves, that mental health is a real problem in our city, and this guy was clearly a whack job. Now, if you want to have policies about that, I'll talk to you about mental health funding. I think we should do more of it. You think that we should do more of it?
I think that Democrats...
We agree.
I think that Democrats should stop listening to the con game of Black Lives Matter for votes, and then in return for the support from Black Lives Matter, you do anything and everything that they want that is destructive to society.
I said more funds for mental health, and you said what? More or less?
I just told you.
You said Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I did say
that. That's like two changes.
Okay.
Okay. You believe more. So we don't disagree. That's why That's the point.
Has Black Lives Matter been good or bad for America?
That's definitely a change of subject. So that's
Can you answer the question? Can you answer the question?
I believe that Black Lives Matter, the idea that getting us all to focus on the idea that blacks disproportionately get stopped by police is a good thing. We should know that. That should be a front of mind thing that we keep in mind.
And what about the mansions for all the leaders?
You mean the organization Black Lives Matter? It seems like first of all, there's dozens of them around the country.
So it wasn't a mistake for Democrats to court these individuals?
You mean Nike and McDonald's and WABC Radio?
No.
I don't want to. Let's not get too close to home here. A lot of us were putting Black Lives Matter. If you're talking about the organizations and how they spent their money, I have no dog in that fight,
Anthony. But
yes, Black Lives do matter, and I think you agree.
Because Black Lives Matter, but the organization is nothing but a con that has been detrimental to America.
It's not a matter of the organization is irrelevant to me. It's the idea. It's the idea. I don't know. You want to get into
the luck of the Irish.
Somebody bought a house in Sacramento and you're upset about it. I am sorry.
Excuse me.
My thoughts and prayers are with you.
They didn't buy a house. It's not funny. They didn't buy a house.
The things that you think are important.
Oh, my God. They took donations. They stole donations.
Terrible.
They put the baby daddy on the payroll.
Kind of like Donald Trump.
Security.
Kind of like Donald Trump did. He was found guilty of fraud for doing that. Remember that? I didn't hear you yelling about it.
Okay, wait. Which Trump situation are you referring to now?
Oh, you mean which fraud?
You mean...
Good point. I apologize. There's 5 of them. Let me do the ones where he's found guilty of stealing from his foundation, not the one where he's found guilty of stealing from his fake university, and not the one where he's accused,
so you mean the stack trials
accused
in
of
New
stealing
York.
from the state.
You mean the stack trials in New York?
I haven't gotten to that fraud yet.
Where the judge was against
I haven't gotten to that fraud yet. You asked me to list the frauds. I'm still going.
Go ahead.
I'm still going.
Go ahead.
Or is it the fraud where his company was found guilty of in the state of New York? Or now the one that he's on appeal for committing? Yes, there's lots of frauds. I apologize.
Okay, which
for
one?
But hold on. But you want to talk about Black Lives Matter? Let's talk about all the frauds. Let's talk about. Well, tell me about Trump University. Tell me about that fraud.
You've been bringing that up now for 4 weeks.
Oh yeah.
For 4
you bring
weeks.
up fraud, you're going to get that every time,
for
pal.
4 weeks.
Yep.
For 4 weeks.
You bring up fraud,
okay.
You're going to hear about Donald Trump's fraud every week.
Okay. That case was resolved.
Yeah,
that case was resolved.
I'll say it was. Trump University doesn't exist anymore. He had to pay a fine.
Okay,
he had to pay back the people he defrauded.
You see, here's the difference between me and you. I will be honest about a situation. I won't do spin.
About Donald Trump's fraud.
I just said to you
Donald Trump's fraud?
No,
just say the words.
No.
Donald Trump was guilty of fraud.
No. In that case, he paid a fine.
Well, what about the foundation? Trump Foundation, what about that one?
Okay.
He is not allowed to have a nonprofit here in the state anymore because he stole money from his foundation?
And what about
That's
Eugene
not
Carroll?
good.
What about that?
Ooh, I don't know.
What about that?
Don't go there, Dominic.
Oh, no, I want to go there.
We have a jury that said he's guilty of sexual abuse.
What about the most recent case, right? The judge made it clear from day one that he was against Trump.
What is the most recent case?
The one with the state attorney general in New York.
Oh, you took my advice and changed the subject from Eugene Carroll.
No,
Good thinking.
No, we can talk about
thinking, Dominic.
I would love to talk about
I don't know.
Hey, Anderson.
Easy.
Wait. What was the line? What was the line? Rape is sexy.
Easy.
Rape is sexy.
Easy.
Are you kidding me?
Easy. Let's go easy here.
Looney
He was
Tune.
found guilty of sexual abuse. Let's go easy here. Let's go easy. All right. Let's move on here.
Let's move on. Yeah,
we have a couple of minutes before the break.
Let's move
I
on.
don't think we need a lot of time for this.
Okay.
Vice President Aaron Rodgers?
Complete joke. It's to get headlines. It worked. It got the headlines. He's never going to be the running mate.
I know, but the things that this guy believes. He believes 9/11 was a hoax. He believes COVID was a hoax. He believes that Sandy Hook was a hoax. You know what I'm learning about this guy?
What?
I love the Jets. This guy's a whack job.
But he's a great quarterback.
I don't know.
That's the bottom line.
He lasted like 4 plays this year. I got to tell you something. I have, sometimes people say just shut up and play ball. I don't care if someone wants to state their opinion about things, but you're also held accountable for saying that.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Just shut up and play ball.
Well, I know some people say that, but this guy's not a spokesman now for the insurance company anymore. There's probably no sponsor that will pay to hear him. All said, but here's what this tells me the most about RFK Jr. One guy who believes in frauds picks another guy who believes in fraud. They're perfect together. But I think it hurts Donald Trump more than it hurts Joe Biden.
Wait, what hurts Trump more?
The anti-COVID people are more Republican than Democrat.
I don't think that issue hurts Mr. Trump at all. I think that Mr. Trump, based on polling, is headed back to the White House. I don't think we're going to have much of a fall campaign. Your guy does not have the luxury of let me finish.
Predicting the future is like predicting the weather.
Going to hide and I'm very good at predicting races. Your guy does not have the very good.
Oh well, you picked Donald Trump in 2016.
Very good.
I know, but you've been dining out on that now for years.
I picked Bloomberg as well. When people said, "Yeah, I did." Ask Curtis Leewood.
Did you pick Swazi? Did you think Swazi was going to win?
Yes, because I didn't think that.
You didn't think he's going to win by 8, though.
I didn't think that she was a good candidate. I think that the party made a big mistake going with her, and I didn't think she resonated. And you don't answer questions.
And immigration turned out to be a losing issue. Surprise, surprise.
It was snowing that day on the primary.
Oh, that's right. We've had this conversation. All right. Well, we'll be right back with one more block of great issues. Oh, the ones at the beginning, at the end, you're really going to like. You're going to stick around.
I want you to focus.
I'm focused
on what happened
I'm like
on
a laser
the train.
Beam. Focused. I'm not as well dressed as you, but I'm focused.
I want you to admit
if you're
bad
keeping track. If you're keeping track, that's 9 changes of subject by Dominic Carter, and we'll be right back.
He's Joe Concha, and tomorrow at 3 p.m., he's on 77 WABC, filling in on Lou Dobbs Sunday with special guest Laura Trump, 77 WABC.
To celebrate the new Quick Draw Progressive from the New Jersey Lottery, give it up for the rolling jackpot.
The jackpot keeps rolling, jackpot rolling. Higher and higher it's growing, alright.
Quick Draw is now Quick Draw Progressive with a free shot at winning a rolling jackpot with every play.
Quick Draw, jackpot, Quick Draw, play today. Alright.
Play Quick Draw Progressive today.
Anything can happen in Jersey.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Take it from Margot. Discover high-quality groceries at Graciti's. Now available for online delivery on Instacart, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. Get organic produce and premium products delivered straight to your door. Order now on your favorite delivery app or GracitiSupermarkets.com.
It's the left versus the right. Now, to the Bernard McGurk Studios, it's a 77 WABC debate. The melee in the metropolis. Round 4. 77 WABC.
Mr. Weiner, you do know that's my theme song. You do know in this situation, I'm Rocky and you're that Russian dude.
First of all, you got the wrong movie. Second of all, Rocky lost in Rocky. You know
No. Rocky
and
lost.
Carl Weathers of blessed memory. I'm glad to be Carl Weathers.
And Rocky came back.
Wait,
Rocky came back.
So what Rocky
and
are
at
you
the
talking?
end of the day, Rocky jogs up the stairs on top
That
of
was not the end of the day.
Whatever. Okay, but whatever. At the end of the day, Rocky's the man.
Everyone likes Rocky in that, but you forget Carl Weathers, who recently passed away, by the way.
Yes.
Carl Weathers, people forget Carl Weathers won that fight.
Okay, the first one. But let's forget the movies.
You're thinking of Eye of the Tiger.
To someone that was on that train as
Terrible.
the bullets flew, and they're listening to you right now. Can you address them, please?
Oh, yes, I will. First of all, terrible. What you went through is horrifying, and we all go through it on the subway of sitting there.
We all go through it?
Listen, let me finish my thought. Of sitting there wondering is there a crazy wackadoo guy on the train? Should we react? What should we do? This came out with the Penny case as well. Look, there is no doubt about it. It's a volatile situation. We're all jammed in there in the subway. We wonder what's going to happen. All I can say is this. If you are looking to our government to keep you hermetically sealed from harm at all times, every day, you are not a Democrat or Republican. You're a hermit. That's never going to happen. All you can do is hope that your leaders make the right decisions. There was a police officer there quickly.
Leaders making the right decision.
And there were police officers.
Democrats don't make the right
decisions. I think part of it is mental health. I believe we should do more to fund mental health. Do you agree with that?
Agreed.
Okay, agreed. I think that's something we can agree on.
But your boy, Mayor Adams, Oh, welcome to New York.
There was no migrants here. You're doing exactly what I accused you of doing.
My immigration commissioner is going to meet you at the bus station.
You're doing it again. There were no migrants involved in this case.
And it doesn't matter. We're going to give you every tax dollar that we have.
You're doing it again.
It doesn't matter.
You're doing it again.
The veterans, that's
You're doing it again. There's no immigrants involved in this case.
Yes, it is. The guy said he thought he was a migrant.
But he wasn't.
But what counts is what was in his crazy mind.
Who put it in his mind?
Okay.
People like you, Dominic.
Refer to Trenton, New Jersey, the standoff that's happening right now, the shooting in Tompkins Square Park. How about St. Louis?
Crime.
How about that?
I don't know about anything about St. Louis. By the way, St. Louis's crime is much higher than New York City's crime.
Okay, the two girls fighting with each other, and because of diversity programs, right? Everybody, no, but I'm serious.
It's because of diversity programs that two people had to fight?
No, if you let me finish. Because of diversity programs, everybody's bending over backwards, right? And so you loosen the rules, you loosen the discipline. Is
that what happened in that case?
If you let
I
me,
believe in more discipline in our schools.
Okay.
I believe letting teachers suspend kids. I believe in the kind of school.
So then, why do you keep
making
making excuses for every wrong?
I'm not making. Okay. I'm not making an excuse. We're having a debate on left perspectives versus right perspective.
Right.
The right perspective is to say immigrant, and then someone goes in and actually tries to fight with someone because they're so spun up about immigrants. Who spun them up? You did, Dominic.
No.
You should check yourself before you get wrecked yourself.
No. Yeah, that's a song. Be careful with that because you're on video. Don't do the dance. Don't do the dance because it's going to be on video. What's that dance you keep doing?
It's funny. Weiner doing the ghetto talk here too.
Yeah,
the cabbage patch.
Wait. What was that? You said Weiner doing the ghetto talk?
Well, I'm saying you check yourself. You're going to get wrecked yourself.
Right.
You probably shouldn't have a white Jewish guy saying that. That's probably someone else. Probably someone else should be doing that.
Newsflash. I have noticed that, but it's okay.
I know.
It's okay. You're a good brother.
Dominic,
you're a good brother.
What can I say?
You're a good brother.
Deep inside, there's a soul. I have a soul.
And you think I don't know that? Of course. But your exact words was the record. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Newsflash, that should be the theme song for Democrats because you're taking all of us down. All of us are going down because of, I don't mean to put this all on you.
Except, let me say
because of
something.
your crazy policies.
By the way, I mean, let's just make this clear.
Migrants, come to America. Oh, you criminals. You're in charge. You do whatever you want.
No, my crimes committed by people who are born here is actually higher than people who come here who are not born here.
So you sound just like President Biden when he was forced to say Laken Riley's name. That's the same line he ran.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Me and Joe Biden have something in common. All right, let's do one more issue before we wrap up here.
Okay.
You know, we touched on it a little bit. You love to talk about the polls. You think Donald Trump will win?
I don't think. I know he's going to win.
100%.
100%.
Even though he's never won the popular vote.
No, not 100%.
Never won the popular vote in his life.
Not 100%. Not 100%. I'm sorry about that. Not 100%. 300%.
There's no such thing as 300%.
300%.
But
the last time I checked, we don't elect a president by the popular poll.
I know, but I'm saying
that's Hillary talk. That's Hillary talk.
So you think he's not going to get the popular vote again?
What I just said to you is I'm 300% positive that he's the next president of the United States.
Okay.
Why do you think these prosecutors are rushing to get these trials?
We're moving on. I'm moving to another level of the question. Do you think he wins the popular vote finally? He never has before. Americans don't like him.
Does it really matter if he wins the popular vote?
I don't know. I think probably in a democracy, the fact that
that sounds like
the guy keeps losing the popular vote should tell you something about whether he's doing a good job.
I'm going to give it back to you. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah. That sounds like a sore loser, knowing that Trump is going to win the election.
No, Biden beat him like a rented mule. Biden beat him easily.
Excuse me. The president of the United States stayed in his house in his basement in Delaware. Doesn't have that option this time around.
Because all he had to do was point to the lousy job your guy did. That's all he had to do.
Oh, my God.
By the way, are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Absolutely.
Do you know where you were 4 years ago?
Wait. Am I better off now than I was 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Really? Do you know where you are on March 16th, 2020?
No.
You were in your house while your president of the United States was telling you to drink bleach.
Oh, here
Remember
we go.
that? Remember
here we go.
Remember your guy on COVID? Okay. Oh my God! Do you really want to remind us of that?
And who got the vaccines? Who got the vaccines to the American people?
Well, it doesn't seem like he's very proud of it. He just went on the stump and said he's not going to require kids to take it or adults to take it or anyone to take it. The guy seems to be embarrassed about it because your right wingers have done nothing but seed.
Where's my St. Patrick's Day hat?
Listen. One guy.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
By the way, how many jobs did Donald Trump create when he was president? The only president ever to lose jobs. Congratulations.
I think that most of us.
I don't think we want to go back to that.
I think that most of us were much better off under Trump
on March of 2020
than under Biden.
Oh my God!
I got gas last night, and I thought I was going to have to chop off my left arm.
March in 2020, we had Mike Liddell at the steps of the White House selling.
Excuse me, who's going to win the election? I answered. You answer.
All I have to do is look at what happened 3 years ago, and it's going to happen again.
Who's going to win?
Joe Biden.
Just like you defended Schumer. Just like you defended
Schumer.
No,
one is a prediction, and the other one is I'm talking about a speech.
You sat up
There's
here
a prediction.
defending Schumer on Israel, and there's no
Go
defense.
back and listen to that as a podcast. Listen to it from the very beginning. It was
I love you, man.
The middle.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
The Dominic
Mr.
Carter
Weiner.
Show every week from 12 to 1 a.m. Dominic Carter, you're the best.
Wrong,
you're the
but
best,
I love
Dominic.
You, man.
Dominic, I love you like a brother. Ebony and Ivory,
my St.
man.
Patrick's Day hat.
All right.
St.
Hey,
Patrick's
listen,
Day.
if you missed any of this, get it
Happy
as a podcast.
St. Patrick's Day.
And if you were
Put on
wondering,
my hat.
9 times you changed the subject. Thanks for joining us.
More music on
77 WABC.
WABC New York and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays.
WABC.
This is the Vinny Madunio Show with your host, Vinny Madunio.
WABC.
Vinny Madunio, my cousin Vinny.
Spring will soon be gone. Summer's coming on. Diamonds dreaming on. Like the summer love. All I think of